Now, how about them damn Celtics?
And we are back with another episode of How About Them Celtics. Sam and I are recording Wednesday, March 11th, middle of the Celtics road trip. They are now 1-1, lost to the Spurs, beat the Cavs. Jaylen Brown just got ejected. Jason Tatum is back in full force, 3 games now, back from the Achilles injury. We've got plenty to talk about. How you doing, Sam?
Doing good. Excited for the show today. We have a fun show. We'll talk a little bit more about the Jaylen ejection. That has become a huge talking point online this morning. It's 2:00 in the afternoon as we're recording this now. And we'll talk about the way the Celtics have matched up with some of the other top teams in the league. Maybe we should be concerned. And we'll do your emails, go around the NBA. Bam scored a bunch of points yesterday, and people online are pissed. And then we'll do the rat list and get out of here. Stick around through all of it. We're here every single day with new stuff. Full pods drop Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday. Game recaps are up morning after each game. Other videos are here in between. So be on the lookout for everything. Subscribe, leave a like if you're new. And without further ado, Jaylen ejected yesterday.
Yeah, Jaylen ejected from the game. If you didn't watch the game, I'll give a brief recap. Jaylen was dribbling out. Stephon Castle put a hand on his back, pushed him a little bit. Jaylen fell out of bounds. Tyler Ford did not make the call. Jaylen was pissed, went back at Tyler Ford. Obviously was upset about it. Tyler Ford gave him a smug look, and Jaylen didn't appreciate it. Got teched, went back around, and then another ref teched him up again, a second different ref. It was a mess. It was a stupid situation. A couple people on Twitter pointed out, I think Keith Smith tweeted it, like, Tyler Ford has been giving those smug looks for a long time, which is why NBA players don't like him that much. Another, few people were like, why did the second ref have to chime in? It wasn't his business. Joe Mazzulla talked about it. I'll play this clip. He was kind of on that same wave of why didn't Tyler Ford give the tech, but he said it in a very Joe Mazzulla, I don't want to get fined type of way. This is what he said.
Just give a ton of credit to my high school principal. He had the ball and throw the student out. He didn't leave it to the hall monitor.
What kind of frustrating is that entire school?
He was a hell of a principal.
He had my high school principal had the balls to throw someone out. He didn't leave it to the hall monitor. Gary Washburn tweeted that from the Celtics post game against the Spurs in San Antonio. So shout out to Gary. I mean, listen, there's a lot to say about this, but I'll let you go first.
Do we think that Joe workshops material at home, with his wife and kids, where he's kind of trying to figure out new silly?
That's such
I
a
wouldn't even say
specific
it's silly.
situation, though. There's no
I know,
way you
but
can workshop that.
Well, if you're thinking about trash and the refs, you might have a few different things that can happen that you think about. I'm sure you're not thinking about the crew chief standing by as one of the underlings throws out your star player, but I feel like maybe he's just funny as shit, really. We don't know him that well. We only really see what we get in the occasional glimpse behind the scenes, but he never misses with these things. And maybe it's just because we don't expect him to be up there saying things along these lines about the officials and finding new ways to get around, but maybe he was with his assistants in the locker room and had a few that he ran by him. I don't know. I would love to be in the Missoula open mic audience to watch him workshop his material, though. I really would. As for the Jaylen thing, I mean, I think I have very mixed feelings on this, which I feel like is actually, of course, I'm going to say this, but I feel like is the correct way to feel about this. I think that Jaylen should have read the situation better. I think that Jaylen, once he got the first tech, should have kind of gotten through it. I don't know if it's you can't really slam the brakes when you're that pissed, but understand the situation. This is a huge game. San Antonio's the hottest team in the NBA, and you're without Peyton. Jason is still getting his legs back underneath him. The Celtics very much needed Jaylen in this game, and going in that, everybody was fully aware of Jaylen's importance in this one, and the way he played with intention in the first half would tell you that he was very well aware of it too. So I think nobody is perfect. I think it was a lapse in his leadership and judgment to go all in and get ejected, because I didn't rewatch it a bunch of times, but I, from memory, don't think he stopped after the first tech and the other guy just came over and tossed him. But at the same time, the Celtics all spoke about this after, and Jason Tatum specifically was like, hey, this is a national TV game. the NBA makes a big point of emphasis for players to be available for these national TV games because people are sitting there planning to watch them in prime time. And for Jaylen to get tossed for, I mean, not nothing, but to get tossed in that situation where they didn't necessarily have to toss him was kind of hypocritical in that sense. And I do feel like there's a double standard in the league because there are other instances where they're like notorious complainers that almost build, like, the officials build a tolerance for, like LeBron, biggest whiner of all time, Luka, whiner, Draymond, just deviant. Like there are so many of these guys that get extra grace from the officials because they just are doing it all the time. Jaylen will speak out against them, but I don't feel like he is doing crazy over the top theatrical stuff all the time when he disagrees with a call. He will complain. This is not me saying that Jaylen doesn't complain, because he does complain, and so does Jason Tatum. But to think that LeBron threw a temper tantrum on the parquet 3 years ago and got no technical, nothing. Pat Bev got a technical because he was creative with the way that he went at the official. But what do we have? I don't have it on my timeline. What did they say exactly about why they teched him up? They said demonstrative, and I know he cursed the officiating crew, which
demonstrative, and was like approaching the refs, was using profanity, stuff like that.
Well, I would not argue against LeBron being demonstrative when he was doing his little stomp his feet, fall to his knees, bang the floor.
We can't use that as the barometer. It was 3 years ago. It was a different ref crew. Like that. I get what you're saying.
Officials in general.
Sure, I get what you're saying, but that's like saying this podcast I did 3 years ago. Like, oh man, when we start dragging things from years ago in as a comparison, I think it's a little bit. It gets out there. Like, it's hard to compare different ref crews. It's hard to compare different situations. Jaylen complains a lot. He's not as demonstrative as LeBron. He's probably top 5 in the league in complaining, right? And I love Jaylen. This is not a shot at Jaylen. I think Jaylen's right a lot of the time. He complains a lot. Sitting here acting like, oh, he's not as bad as these guys. He is. He's pretty bad. He complains as much as almost anyone else, right? At the same time, he gets fouled a lot, and it doesn't get called. Like, it's the same thing as LeBron. It's the same thing as Giannis. Like, these guys are so strong. They're so forceful going to the rim that contact doesn't really affect them as much. And so they aren't going to get as many calls, because when you're a ref, you look for, like, Derek White gets a lot of calls because he's 102 pounds soaking wet, right? He'll flop his way out of anything because he'll draw the contact, right? Like, I have a couple things here I pulled up, and I said this on the show last night. The barometer I use a lot of the time is, when Joe is mad. If Joe is mad, I'm like, okay, he's seeing some stuff that is inconsistent, because Joe usually only gets mad when he sees stuff called on one end and not called on the other, or called on one play and not called on the other. He gets mad at inconsistency. And so this is when I mark down, oh, Joe's pissed right now, right? This call, 5:50, whatever, left in the game, right? Dylan Harper runs into Derek White, and they get the foul call, right? This is just body to body. He's running into him. Derek White drew this foul call. But when this happens a minute earlier, like 40 seconds earlier, there's no call. Luke Cornett running into Jaylen Brown, no call. And I remember watching the broadcast and watching Joe go over to the ref, pissed off. Why is this a foul, but that last one not a foul? I remember him going, this, then this one versus the last one. Because if that other one's a foul, this is definitely a foul. And so it's the inconsistencies that I think was getting Brown pissed off. And then this was another one. I was marking down when I noted Joe was mad. And this is another one of Luka Garza just getting kind of tackled in the paint a little bit, and like grabbed by Carter Bryant, and no one calls it. And you can see Joe is pissed. Like, listen, it's a buildup of stuff. And I agree with you. Jaylen did too much. I think Jaylen needed to read the moment a little better. I don't think I think he was just seeing red, and it just went from there. At the same time, exactly, it happens when you're playing a game. There's adrenaline. At the same time, when you get a tech from a ref, you usually get a little bit of leeway to finish your rage and then let it settle, right? Because the ref should understand that there's a lot of adrenaline. Like, if anybody should understand it, it's the players, it's the people who watch it all the time. And I'm not saying that warrants them having to deal with being cussed at or sworn at or whatever, right? But usually there's that little bit of leeway. But the second ref chimed in and thought that the leeway wasn't needed anymore because Jaylen did go charging back. I'm not going to sit here and say I think it was an unwarranted ejection. I think Jaylen did enough to get ejected. But usually sometimes you get a little bit more leeway. I don't know. It's hard. It's hard to determine it exactly. Derek White and Tatum both talked about it too. We can listen to that. But I think at the end of the day, at least in my opinion, he deserved to get ejected. I think it was a little lame. The second ref gave the second tech. He could have had a little more leeway. But most importantly of all, he was right. He got fouled, but it is what it is.
Yeah, I just think why didn't they challenge? In real time, like I was watching this all happen, and I was just like, why don't they challenge? Like, was it just one of those moments where Joe didn't feel like it was like the payoff was worth the risk enough to do it? Because that would make sense to me.
I don't think that's worth it, right? Like, you don't really gain anything from it. You get the ball back, no points off the board. It's not like you're taking a foul off of one of your players. And at that point, I think Jaylen got ejected so fast that like you can't uneject somebody.
Well, the second one came so quick.
I know exactly.
Because I was watching with my girlfriend and she was like, "What's going on?" And I was like, "Well, he just got a tech." And I was like, and then you heard the crowd pop when he got the second one like this, and I was like, "Oh, I think he just got ejected." And then he was gone. So, yeah, it's just tough because I don't feel like the reaction necessarily was unwarranted, but at the same time, I just think it's a weird guys get away with murder that complain all the time, and he complains all the time. There was certainly a buildup last night, as you mentioned, where you did a great job finding the specific moments where, especially him getting killed by Cornette on the drive and he gets nothing. I just don't know what the solution to this is. Is this the kind of thing that Jaylen is just going to keep speaking out and rubbing them the wrong way? Because I don't know. He's just between a rock and a hard place. Like, it's either you sit in silence and you don't say anything about getting hoed by the officials, you speak out and risk pissing them off even more to where they're going to be like, I really don't care if I call fouls for this guy. Like, they're going to feel less inclined to call fouls for him. I think it's a pretzel.
I think it was also a double down because the last time they played the Spurs, he felt this way too. So I think there's a little bit of extra juice there because I think he sees the Spurs as a San Antonio team where they can just kind of do whatever the hell they want and foul. The Spurs do hand check every possession. And it's impossible to call it when they do it every possession.
Why do you say the thing about them being a San Antonio? Like, what do you mean by that?
Well, an OKC team. I think I misspoke.
They're okay, yeah. Okay,
no,
gotcha.
I said the wrong thing. They're an OKC team. They're doing what OKC did last year and still does this year. They just hand check you and they foul you on every possession. And the refs, you literally cannot call everyone. And credit to them, right? They're a good defensive team for a reason. But like I said, they hand check every single possession. They're always on you. They're always pressing. They're always physical. And it is what it is. But if you're Jaylen Brown and you're also getting fouled on every drive, you can imagine why you're a little bit upset that you are not getting the calls when that is happening in the way it does. So, and the play he did get ejected on was a hand check. And let me tell you, there is nobody in the NBA who hand checks more than Stephon Castle. That dude, every possession, boom, 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 on the drive, boom, boom, boom. And listen, it works. It doesn't get called. Good defense. This is not me shitting on Stephon Castle. But if I'm someone going against him, I'm a little mad. I'm a little mad. And that just kind of is what it is. We can listen to Jaylen and Derek's thoughts on it quickly before we move on to the next thing, just for the sake of it, since I have the clips up. But this was Jason Tatum when asked about it.
I cannot hear this.
Yeah, I can barely hear it either. Okay, let's cook that. Let's see if Derek's any better, and if not, we'll just move on. But audio not the best.
Caption.
Too. Definitely earned the first one, and then I thought the second one was bullshit. Honestly, I mean, it's a passionate game, high level game. You can't throw out a guy that's done so much for us all year, and a game like this, especially joining in. Like Tyler didn't throw him out, so I think that was ridiculous. And was tough, obviously, to basically play the whole second half without him. I feel like a lot of the game, I don't even know how much time was on the clock, but yeah, I thought that was ridiculous.
Derek doesn't swear often either. So that's
He
saying
doesn't
something.
say
right?
anything often.
I know.
At least when the cameras are in front of him, he doesn't have anything to say. Yeah, I think that's actually a good transition into the Celtics losing to San Antonio yesterday. Now brought them to 3. Oh, you gotta. Maybe they have less than the more or less line on wins.
Yeah, more or less than the line. let me tell you guys about PrizePicks real quick. PrizePicks, the best place to get real money sports action. This basketball season, this football season, this whatever season you're looking for, make sure to check it out on PrizePicks. Again, the best place to get real money sports action. You can shoot your shot on PrizePicks right now. And the playoff push is heating up, and tournament hoops are here, and there's no better way to cash in. If you're right on the high-flying hoops action, then PrizePicks, where it always feels good to be right. Every bucket, every dime, and every win means more when you're playing on PrizePicks. And with their brand new Team Picks markets, you can now pick game winners, spreads, and totals on top of the player picks you already know. So cash in if you're right during all the clutch bucket slam dunks and Cinderellas this spring with PrizePicks Team Picks on PrizePicks. You pick the winner straight up on PrizePicks. Who's going to win the next big basketball game? Who's going to win the next big fight? Back your takes with real money. On PrizePicks, you can even pick who is going to cut down the nets in a couple weeks, or who is going to win a ring this summer, whether it's the tournament, the playoffs, or even the international basketball tournament. You can call your shot and cash in if you make the right picks, all on PrizePicks. Team Picks is now available in 35 states, including California, Texas, Georgia, Washington, and more. It makes it super easy to pick game winners, spreads, and totals in all of these games. So check it out there. Download the PrizePicks app today and pick your first game winner, spread, or total as the playoff push rolls on, and get $50 in daily fantasy lineups when you play your first $5 lineup when you use code CLNS. That is code CLNS to get $50 in daily fantasy lineups when you play your first $5 lineup. PrizePicks, it's good to be right. Okay, sorry, Sam. I'll let you go ahead.
That's okay. The loss yesterday brings the Celtics to 3-8 against the other top 3 teams in each conference. They are 1-3 against Detroit, 1-2 against New York, 1-1 versus Houston, who recently moved into third, and 0-2 versus San Antonio after yesterday. Granted, they played yesterday's game without Jaylen in the second half, and they competed really well. Like this was not a game yesterday that we all watched and we're like, damn, this just means they're fake because they can't beat any of these good teams.
And they're missing 2 of their top 8 on top of that.
Yeah. Peyton not being there was tough for them.
And Vooch.
And Vooch. At the same time, it's really difficult to get a feel on either side of this for me, because on one hand, the Celtics are 3-8. They have won 3 of 11 games against these other contending teams. All of the Detroit games were close. The Knicks, I think the 2 losses were not particularly close. They competed in the first one. They got their shit kicked in the one on Super Bowl Sunday. Houston, when they played Houston that first time, they were not the same team. And both games against San Antonio were close. The one at the Garden was close. Wemby had to make a dagger in the final minute. He was on a minutes restriction that game, though, for what it's worth. And for every single one of these games, except for last night's, Jason Tatum didn't play. So I don't really know what the ceiling of this team is. I don't know how much he necessarily changes it. I think he does change it, but we have yet to really see enough to make me be like, well, they didn't have him against Detroit, so it's going to be a completely different thing. Or they didn't have him against New York. I do think like he certainly takes pressure off of Jaylen. And people listening to this might be like, what are you talking about? Like and I don't doubt that he can get to the level that he's dominant and has his fingerprints all over everything. And he already does do things that alleviate pressure, and he moves the ball well. But offensively, the aggression is misplaced, I think. Like he's taken, I'll pull up the stats to confirm, but I know last night he took 14 threes. And of course, this is always what I'm talking about when I talk about Tatum. I'm like, oh, I think he takes too many threes, but it really feels like he's taken a lot of threes since he came back. And I don't know. This Celtics team this year, when they're at their best, has not been running offense based on created threes in isolation. Like they are getting downhill. They're kicking the ball out. They're moving the ball, which he has done, but he hasn't quite gotten to the point where he's at the level he was at before he got hurt. So he's taken over 10 threes a game. He's 9 of 31. He's taken 56 total shots. And yesterday, I just felt like even when he drove, he just ended up taking the one-legged fadeaways. There's been moments where he's gone through guys' chests to his credit, but I just think he needs to get more comfortable there before we're analyzing how much he moves the needle against any of these 4 teams. Or you can interchange like Houston for Minnesota, Denver, whoever else is hovering in that spot in the West.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I think first off, if I had sat here and said, "Hey, the Celtics are 3-8 against the top 3 seeds in each conference in October," everyone would be like, "Wow, oh my God, they're actually a good team." So I think that context is important before anything else.
Well, I don't know.
I'm going to continue. Let me continue. Obviously, now they are viewed as a much different team than that. They are viewed as a contender. But jumping from that to, it feels like a lot of people are putting the weight of expectations of past Celtics teams on this team is very different. This team is not a 60-win team. There's like objectively, like the difference between a 50-win team and a 60-win team, if I went back and looked historically, and this is just a guess, is probably they lose a lot to the best team in the NBA. Probably they lose a lot to the 60-win teams. And at least 3 of these teams we're mentioning are 60-win basketball teams. The Thunder, the Pistons, and the Spurs are going to win 60 games. So the Celtics are what? Like 1-5 against 60-win teams so far, with 2 more games against the Thunder. Like, yeah, it's a 60-win team. Like those are the best teams in the NBA. They are better than the Celtics, right? Like viewing this from the lens of the Celtics as the best team in the league is not a thing anymore, right? Like the last 2 years, we've been viewing it as the Celtics should be the best team in the league. The Celtics are no longer the best basketball team in the NBA. They're just not. And I think they have a chance to win against every team in every series in the playoffs. They're not going to be favored like they were in past years. So I think that's important as well. As far as the threes, the Celtics are taking the second most threes in the NBA this year still, 42.5. It's the exact same amount they took in the title year. They took the exact same amount of threes per game in the title season. So while I do think they're not at their best, and listen, I came on the show last night, the Tatum threes, got to find a better way to do it. I rewatched some of them. A couple of them were fine. Some of them were like, what the hell are you doing? I think he's just finding a rhythm, and we'll see how it shapes up in the playoffs. I'm going to give him the courtesy of like a couple weeks in the lineup. But I don't have a problem with the number of threes in general. I think they just have to find a way to keep creating them in the best way possible. They're actually taking more threes this season than they were in the title season. But I think in a playoff series, the Celtics have a chance to beat any teams in 7 games, especially with Jason Tatum on the court, especially with the extra source of gravity, especially with the additional scoring, playmaking, rebounding, especially. The rebounding has been great for Jason Tatum regardless. He's been making an impact on the glass when he can. But he's got to round into form. You got to find a way to still run through Jaylen. Jaylen's not going to not get ejected. You need Vooch back, if for no other reason, just to have a third body at the center position. And you need the scoring of Peyton Pritchard if we're using it in the context of the Spurs game, which we don't have to completely. But I think a lot of things go into it. I think the Celtics, I wish they would have been better. I think all the games are close, and I think that's an indicator. But like at the end of the day, they're not the best team in the league. I get why they've lost a lot of these games, because they are literally the 6-5 best teams in the league next to Boston. So it's tough. But I don't know. I think the Celtics have grown a lot since a lot of these games took place as well. And I don't know. I think the last point I'll make is everyone talked about the Celtics record against the Knicks last year. Look how much that mattered. So I guess all bets are off in the playoffs to a degree, but they definitely could be better. But I'm not like, I think there's a reason those teams are the best teams.
I still think about it like once a week. I'm like, man, I can't believe that happened. I agree with you. The Houston loss, one of the Knicks losses, and one of the Detroit losses came very earlier in the season. The Celtics, since the new year, have kind of become a little bit of a different team. They look far different, and they rebound far better. They've raised their assist total since the All-Star break. Like Jaylen is really putting emphasis on finding his teammates when they're open. And to be clear, I wasn't attacking the entire team's 3-point attempts, which I don't think you thought. But I just have no problem with any 3-point attempts as long as like they just make sense. Like the one where he just went off one leg and took a 3 yesterday, I screamed "What the fuck" at my TV. I was like, this is what we're doing 3 games in now.
You know what the
This is-
unfortunate part about that is? The fact that he took that means he's been working on that, so you're gonna see it again. I'm telling
Yeah,
you.
well, that's the bad thing.
Until they start going in, you never know.
I'm not sure they're going in. I think it is like a learning curve for us again, like to remember that's part of the play style. Cause like when he was playing great, he was still doing that. And there were possessions that just kind of get chalked up to that. But I think one of the things that has made Jaylen so effective this year is that I don't feel like there are many possessions where I'm like, that was a waste. Even if he gets to the mid range in the half circle in the elbow area and he's doing something similar to the Tatum threes where he's having to create it, he is shot well enough for me. Like, I'm just like, that's good. Like, cool. Like the game winner he misses against the Pistons in January where they lose by 1 point. That is the first time maybe ever I've seen a game winner go towards the rim and I thought it was going to go. And it didn't. I was shocked. That's how good he's been. So I feel like he's earned that. It might be crazy for me to say I don't think Tatum has earned the threes, but
do you know it's I agree with you in like visual setting. Jaylen Brown can make 50% of those shots you're talking about, and it's as good as Jason Tatum making 33, which he's making 33. Like, and it's bad. And we look at it and say, that's terrible. That's awful. He's shooting 33% from 3. That's shit. Jaylen Brown has to shoot at least 50% from those spots to make it as good as those Jason Tatum pull-up threes. Like that, like, and that's what the math the Celtics
and it's not easy to do that. The 50%.
Yep. And I don't know what Jaylen is shooting. He was at 50% for a lot of the season. He might not be anymore. So those Jaylen mid-range might no longer, like, let me see. Mid-range
it's definitely taken a step back.
42.8 from the mid-range this season.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm 47.8% from in the paint non-restricted area, 70.6% in the restricted area. This is not me shitting on Jaylen. That's not the point at all. He's had an unbelievable MVP insane season. The unfortunate reality is if Jason Tatum makes 1 out of every 3 of those shots, it is better than what Jaylen is doing. Now, he hasn't done that in the last couple of games. It's been a lot worse than that in the last couple of games. But when it all is said and done and the dust settles, he almost always does shoot 30% or 33% from those spots, which makes it inherently just as good as those Jaylen Brown mid ranges. Unfortunately for the viewers, because I agree with you, visually it is not as cool to watch.
The statistically, you can't argue with that. The numbers literally would tell you it's the same amount of points. I think there's some nuance to it. There's a few things. One, I think when Jaylen gets to that area, he's inherently putting more pressure on the defense, where you could make the argument that Tatum is stretching the defense out when he's trying to work from the wing. So there's arguments for both, right? But it's almost easier for Jaylen to draw help just by doing what he's been doing there. And then maybe that has been part of the transition for him having more assists in this, last stretch of games. Defenses at some point figured out what was happening. They figured out how to send help defense, and now he's countering and figuring out how to find his teammates when that happens. I don't know that for fact. That's my hypothesis, so I'm not sure. And I still think there's value in having less empty possessions regardless of the point total. And I would be curious, like, what the coaching staff's answer to this is, not from I'm trying to challenge them, but I'm just trying to learn perspective. Because if Jaylen makes 50% of those shots, he's making 17 more shots than Jason is. And that's 17 less opportunities for a long rebound that can help the opposing team get out in transition. It makes them have to check the ball in bounds. Like, it slows down. It gives them chances to get back on defense. There are other positives that come with shooting a higher percentage shot. I do not dispute that you get the same amount of points per capita makes, though. Like, that is a fact, and that's okay. So I think the Tatum threes will improve. I think he will find a rhythm here. Maybe less one-legged ones. Maybe I never need to see a one-legged 3 from anybody on this team again.
You're gonna. I'm telling you, you're gonna. He's been working on this. He's been in the lab. Like, this has been the thing. And you know what? In theory, they should be easier. I don't think they are yet, but if you practice them right, like, you are technically shooting closer for the same amount of points, right? If you are taking a one-legged 3 and you can get momentum in transition, you're basically just taking a long floater So if Jason Tatum can practice those and just get 3 points for basically a free throw line floater, sure. It's just going to look really, really disgusting for a little bit first. So there is that, which I don't know how I feel about too much, but you know what? If there was ever a time to practice it, I guess it's now when he has the grace of, hey, I just came off my Achilles, bro. Give me a second.
He's just out there workshopping material for his game. He's like, guys, you're gonna give me a break as he tries a hook shot from half court.
Man, I don't know, man. It is what it is.
But yes, to the actual point of what we were talking about, Celtics have not been great against the top teams. I do agree with Jack. There has been a lot of growing from them since a lot of the early, like 3 of these losses happened before this team looked anything like it does now. A few of the others were close. I don't think the 3-8 is as bad as it looks. It is my feeling. Because, okay, if the Celtics see Detroit in the playoffs, am I terrified? No. They see New York in the playoffs. I'm not terrified. I don't know if I feel great about it because the Knicks are literally built to beat the Celtics. Like that was the basis of the way they put their team together when they brought in all these guys to defend the wing and things of that matter. But I think it's doable. I think the Celtics have done a great job of elevating their role players this year to where Joe can trust pretty much anybody who's got the uniform on that day. And it allows him to give opposing teams different looks, different lineups. He can get creative to solve problems that happen in the middle of games. I feel like Joe's gotten better at problem solving. I'm sure people in the comment, there will be 1 or 2 of you that's like, he doesn't do anything, but it's just my feeling. I feel, and if you want an example, just look at the increase improvement in defensive rebounding this year. He did something. He whether it was the players' initiative to just attack it harder, or there have been schematic changes to enable them to get more rebounds. That was a serious question mark, serious shortcoming for them in the first month and a half of the season, and they were first in defensive rebounding percentage last month. And maybe that was Vucevic too. I mean, I'm sure he helps.
Yeah, Vooch definitely helps. Tatum's definitely going to help. Baylor in the starting lineup helps. Not having Simons out there as much, not having 3 guards helps. But credit to Joe, he's found ways. Before we do go to the emails, I want to talk about one last thing quickly. I did a video on the fact that Wemby took 15 threes, and I just wanted to explain here as well. So if you haven't watched the video, you can go check it out, but I'll explain it here. They wanted him to take 15 threes. And the best way to put it to make it understand is Joe Mazzulla wanted to turn the 7'4" unstoppable interior presence into a 3-point shooter and keep the 7'4" guy out of the paint at all times. And when you put it that way, it makes a little bit more sense. He draws a ton of fouls inside. He affects the offensive glass. He's just kind of unstoppable in general down there. You can't guard him. And he shoots 35% from 3. And if you do the math, 35% of every 15 attempts is 5.25. So he made about 3 attempts. He made about 3 more than the expected value. 3 times 3 is 9, and the Celtics lost by 9, right? It's obviously not an exact science, but it's a little bit of a coincidence, or whatever you want to call it. I don't think it's that much of a coincidence that he made X amount of the expected value and they lost by that many points. So there's that. And I had a lot of people on Twitter saying, well, if he's that open, he's going to shoot better. Duh, idiot, like stupid. Victor Wembanyama shoots worse on uncontested threes than he does not. He shoots 32.7% when the defender is 6+ feet away. He literally shoots worse when he is not guarded. So that argument's invalid as well. Like,
what really is guarding Wemby from the 3-point line? Like,
it's true. It's true.
Effectively contest him, you have to compromise everything and sell out on jumping.
It's
to
true.
Get your hand in his face.
That's also true. But he shoots on the same amount, 4 to 6 feet contested versus 6+ feet. When the defender is 6+ feet away, he shoots 37 113, 32.7%. When the defender is 4 to 6 feet away, 47 of 125, 37.6%. When the defender is closer, 2 to 4 feet away, he shoots 9 of 22, 41%. He gets better the closer you are to him. Wembanyama shoots better from 3 the closer you are to him. So the Celtics just didn't guard him because you let him shoot the wide open ones. He shoots bad from there usually, and he's not in the paint. It didn't work, but Wemby had the best 3-point night of his career. So again, like I said on the show last night, if you see the Celtics play the Spurs in the finals, if that does end up happening, you're going to see the same strategy. They're going to contest him late if they need to, but they don't want him in the paint because they don't want the 7'4" superstar, best rim protector, best, interior presence, maybe ever, when it's all said and done, in the paint. And I think that's a fine strategy. He made 8. He made 8 of them. It was the best night he's ever had from 3. So it is what it is.
I cannot believe that he made 8 of them. Unbelievable. It all hit like a shotgun blast to the chest. Once he hit like the third one, I'm like, all right, like let's all calm down a minute. This is kind of crazy. And then he kept making them and they became increasingly more important. And it truly hurt my soul. Wemby this season is having the best year of his career by all accounts. Statistically, it's not too different than what we saw last year, but it feels like he's been significantly more effective. His field goal percentage is up 3 points. He's taking 3.5 fewer three-pointers a game. So to pile on to Jack's point, part of the reason why he's taken this step forward, San Antonio is winning more games. One, they are more talented. They've done a good job filling out their roster. They've had time to get Fox integrated. Obviously, Wemby missed the back end of the season last year, and they weren't able to get in the playoffs. He's taking more shots inside the arc. He's doing a better job of playing to his strengths. Can he shoot threes? Of course he can shoot threes. But he's better at doing the other stuff. If you asked me, hey, Sam, would you rather see Wemby shoot open threes or watch Luka Garza try and defend him in the restricted area? I would say I'd love to see open threes.
The game's a game, man. He's 7'8". I don't know, whatever he is.
He just
it's
gets
hard.
taller every time we talk about him.
Yeah, he's actually 16 feet tall. It is what it is. It's tough loss. He made 8, like you said. But emails, reminder as always, you guys can email us at hbtcpod@gmail.com. That's hbtcpod@gmail.com. We have 2 today. The first email from PL Delay. Actually, let's go back to front. Sorry, PL. Let's just do the most recent after. A detailed, cold, detached, and disappointed analysis on the Celtics season so far. Wow. Wait, what? Wow. Who? Wow. What the fuck? Wow. When? Wow. Ciao. Thank you, Paolo. This is
that's like I don't know anything about poetry, but this is a good poem on the Celtics season.
Yeah.
And it legitimately makes sense. As vague and like unspecific as this is, you know exactly what he's talking about each line. It's like, oh wow, like they're not really good. 0-3. Wait,
0-3.
wow, they've climbed back above 500. Wait, who's stepping up for them? Who's the guy with the Infinity Gauntlet now? Josh Minot? Jordan Walsh was 17 of 19 from the field or whatever he was. And then they just start dominating teams into the new year. Yeah, awesome work, Paolo.
Yeah, dominating teams. What the fuck? Wow. Jason Tatum's coming back. When? Wow. Oh my God, he's back. Wow.
They killed the Cavs. He looks awesome. He looks like himself. Yeah, this is fantastic work, actually.
Good job, Paolo. Good job. Good stuff. And then PL Delay. Sorry. Fixing tanking or not. ... Hi, guys. This is PL from Switzerland, the country named after Switzerland County, Indiana, of course. I was listening to you lately talking at length about ways to fix tanking or lack thereof. What if the draft picks were decided by a board of real people instead of a lottery? That way the All-Stars or All-NBA teams are decided. And though it always ends up creating snubs and discontent, it could make sense. A panel of chosen individuals evenly representing all 30 teams would decide which team is really bad and deserves a good pick to help them improve and which team is tanking on purpose and doesn't. For example, no one would allow the Pacers a top 10 pick knowing they are just trying to build a contender around Hallie once he's back. In the real life, that's exactly what might happen, by the way. I know this would still have its pros and cons, but would it be worse than allowing some franchises to stay bad for a whole decade while others just get unfairly lucky? Just a thought. Thanks for letting me know what you think. Wishing you all the best, PL. I don't hate this idea completely. It's just hard because, like, not giving the Pacers a top 10 pick, like, there's a line to everything, right? I agree the Pacers should, like, them getting a top 3 pick is fucked. For one season, disappointment 1 year after making the finals, like, that's not fair to the Wizards, the Nets, the Jazz, whatever. Not giving them a top 10 pick when they were this bad is also just as bad. So maybe it is you can only pick from the bottom 10 teams or so, like, and then you send it to a board. But even then, like, you run into so many problems of these teams are biased. The Celtics are never going to let the Heat have a top pick. The Heat could be 0-82, and the Celtics would be like, no, they don't get it. Like, you'll run into problems of like actual personal problems, I think. So in theory, I like this a little bit better, but I don't know if it would work logistically.
Yeah, and I also think they're like, okay, so thinking back when the Celtics were lucky enough to get Jaylen and Jason back-to-back years, nobody in the draft debate would have been like, well, they traded for this pick, so they deserve to capitalize on the trade. They would be like, fuck them. They, especially with the Tatum draft, they were just the top seed in the conference. They do not need a top 3 guy. And then it would be really tough with pick protections too, like thinking to this year's draft where if the Pacers fall from 5 to 8, they lose it in the Zubac deal. So teams would just kind of intentionally slide it back or I don't know, they would just be left to decide, I guess. It would probably achieve what you're hoping, though. Like, in all honesty, like, even though the Celtics could argue against the Heat getting a pick if they were 0-82, teams and representatives from each team would ultimately decide what is the most harmless way that this can happen for us. Okay, the Nets are a sad, pathetic team. They can have it. They're not going to figure it out. They're going to mess up the pick. Like, whatever it is that is fueling this, there is a reason behind it to where teams would feel safe giving team Y the pick. But it would be good to watch. Can you imagine, like, on pay-per-view?
Yeah, they film the people voting, and it's fucking Bill Chisholm voting.
Like a debate.
Bill Chisholm voting, Miami 14. Fuck it. You see Pat Riley, hey.
Yeah.
No, it'd be great. All right. We can move on to NBA standings. I'll take a look around the league, see where teams are sitting right now. Let me pull it up on the screen. Pistons still atop the Eastern Conference. Celtics right behind them. Knicks right behind the Celtics. Celtics 3.5 games back of the Pistons now. New York 2.5 games back of Boston. Cleveland's back there as well, only half a game behind New York, though. Raptors and Heat now in the 6th seed. Magic have fallen down into 7th. You got the Sixers, Hawks, and Hornets rounding out the play-in, and then the Bucks, Bulls, Nets, Wizards. Pacers who have been officially eliminated from playoff contention.
Tough for the Pacers. In Game 7 of the Finals last year, now first team eliminated. Or are they the first? Anyone in the West out yet?
First team eliminated, Pacers.
Wow. Tough. So I wrote about the Celtics or the opportunity for the Celtics to try and take the 1 seed before the game yesterday. Yesterday's results did not go the way that I would have liked in that regard, with the Pistons winning, Celtics losing. Now it's really hard for the Celtics to catch Detroit because they are 4 games back in the loss column, and they need to be 1 game ahead of Detroit in the loss column because Detroit is the tiebreaker over them. So unless this is like somehow a 3-way tie and it falls in the Celtics' favor, they probably aren't going to get the 1 seed. So I think now the thing to watch for like playoff seeding is the 3-4. Can you get the Knicks out of there and avoid them in Detroit through the second round too? But there's just so much that could happen in the East right now. 5 through 8 are a game and a half, and 5 through 9 are 2.5 games. I feel like we haven't had this in the Eastern Conference in a while. Usually this is how the Western Conference goes, where there's like 4 teams that could all be the 3 seed. Like last year, wasn't Golden State like 2 games back or something of the Rockets when they played them in the first round? Like there was a real sense of parity in the conference. And when you think about like, oh, which seed should I want the Celtics to get? Which side of the bracket should I want them to be on? The play-in makes that a crapshoot as is, but you don't even know who's going to be in the play-in. It could be any of the 5 through 10 teams. And Charlotte could still get out. It's going to be harder, but they've been playing good enough basketball to where it feels plausible that they could overtake any of these teams, especially Toronto, who's struggled lately.
Yeah, it's close, man. It's a very tight race right now. Anything can happen. And for what it's worth, like anything can happen to the point where you don't really know what you want for the Celtics because, excuse me, there's so much that could shake up that there's like, who knows? And on top of that, who knows what happens when the playoff starts? Like, do the Heat go on a burner and beat the 3 seed in the first round? Do the Sixers get hot and beat the Sixers? Like, any team could win or lose. Like, there's no guarantee the Celtics make it out. Like, any team could lose in any round, right? There's no guaranteed wins ever in the postseason. The Pistons could lose to the fucking Sixers if Embiid comes back and plays like prime Embiid. Like, you don't know. Who knows, right? I don't think it's likely. I think the Celtics
Prime
and Pistons
Embiid
will
wasn't
likely
ever
get out of
beating the
first round.
Celtics for what it's worth.
Sure,
Doesn't
but
have the best track record.
who knows, right? Anything can happen is my point. Like, you don't really know at the end of the day what is going to end up occurring. So it is what it is. Western Conference, Thunder still atop. Spurs 2.5 games back of them. Then you got the Rockets in third, half a game up on the Lakers and Wolves in fourth and fifth. Nuggets in sixth at 11.5 games back of the Thunder. Suns are 1 game back of those Nuggets. And then the Clippers, Warriors, and Blazers have created their own little pocket in the 8, 9, 10 with the Grizzlies, Mavericks, Pelicans, Jazz, and Kings on the outside looking in with seemingly very little hope of jumping back up into the play-in. There's a big gap there.
Kings winners of 2 straight. Don't count them out. Getting hot. After Russ.
All it took was Russ
at the
shitting on the media. Yeah.
Can't believe how close Denver is to the play-in. Because every time they play the Celtics, they're just Superman. I feel like the Celtics haven't beaten Denver in like 4 years. They never beat Jokic. He's just the kryptonite for Boston. Anyways, San Antonio, Oklahoma City is shaping up to be this unbelievable meeting of an unstoppable force and immovable object in the conference finals. Both these teams are awesome. The OKC Denver game on Monday was an incredible watch. Shea effectively hit 2 game winners because he hit a step back 3 to put them up 4. And then OKC inexplicably gives up a tag team 4-point play where Jokic makes the 3 and Murray gets bowled over trying to set a screen and Murray makes the free throw. So then Shea comes down again and makes another game winner. It was just a cinematic masterpiece at Paycom Center in Oklahoma City. But watching San Antonio yesterday, you can understand the hype. They got a lot of great defensive guys around Wemby. Felt like they made every single open 3. They just take advantage of the opportunities that you give them, which they deserve credit for. The rest of this 3 through 6 feels like they could end up any way. With Houston has been hot and cold. Still think the Lakers stink, as I say every time. Minnesota, we'll all get a look at them again next Sunday. They'll be at the Garden for the Celtics. So it'll be interesting to see how this all shakes out. Denver just kind of can't get healthy and they can't get in a rhythm. Shout out to Phoenix for being this close.
Yeah, man. Shout out to Phoenix. That's crazy.
Oh, and the Clippers being 500 is notable because they were 6-21 or whatever they were to start the season.
Yeah, the Clippers being in the play-in is very, very notable. Yeah. I'm sorry. I saw a comment pop up on my TikTok or my YouTube of the Wemby short, and they're all like, leaving him wide open is dumb. He's such a better shooter. Like, all his misses are contested. And I'm just like, wow, like, you're just really saying shit. Like, you're just saying bullshit. Like, you're not even
common
looking.
sense would tell you that. So, like, it feels like a natural response.
But like to have the gall to say it so emphatically without even looking.
Yes.
Ridiculous. Like, you're an idiot.
That's the thing. Like, I don't understand like why you feel like you need to scream it from the heavens when you're not really right. Like, I mean, you hear me on this show. I'm like, I don't really know. It could be this way. It could be that way. Like, I've said it 3 times on this episode. I'm trying really hard not to tell you something that isn't true. I'm just telling you what my dumb brain thinks.
Okay, let's go to the NBA section, which it's just Bam today. It's 83. Bam scored 83 points in Heat Wizards. And boy, oh boy, was it a sight to behold. Sam, I'll let you go ahead.
Yeah, it was fun until they took the Celtics game off the TV. And then like it's like a good game and I got to watch the Wizards game. But they should have split screened it because I did want to see it.
Or just give a warning. Like, put something on the screen and
Yes.
say if you want to see it. Like, that was my only problem.
It's also like a streaming. It was on Peacock. So Peacock, like you can just click on anything you want to watch. It'll bring you there. It's not like it's on like a channel feed that you cannot change. Just put up a Wizard stream or say that there's the option, like Jack said.
Yeah.
But anyways, this like never happens. Obviously, it's the second most points in a game ever, and the public has decided to react to it in frustration. Everybody's all upset that Bam scored 83 points. Sam Amick of The Athletic was like, hey, he should have stopped at 81 points for Kobe. Like, he wrote an article saying that. Did you see it?
I didn't read it, but I saw that it exists.
Yeah, I'll pull it up. I was just like, how is this the takeaway from this? Now, I will say that he shot all the free throws ever. And if you want to be mad that he shot that many free throws with the way that the game kind of went down at the end, with Miami intentionally fouling up like 30 points or whatever they were up so he could get more possessions, I kind of get that. But there's also a layer to this where Bam is never going to have 65 points again. Like, if you're there, go for it.
Exactly.
Why not?
Exactly. And also, like, complaining that Miami was fouling to give him extra possessions, sure. The Wizards were also doing everything possible to make sure that this did not happen. Like, if you watch the game, they fouled Keshad Johnson so Bam couldn't take free throws. They were triple teaming Bam in the backcourt. Let's not act like he didn't have to like work a little bit for it. Like, and for what it's worth, right? Like the first half of this game, Bam had 29 free throws in the first half. That's not like, oh, stat padding ball. The Heat were up by 7 after the first half, and the Wizards just gave up 30 free throws to one guy. Like, that's just a ridiculous thing that, like, wow, the Wizards are bad at basketball, right? The Wizards ended up committing 34 fouls in this game. Like, at a certain point, like, they stuck Anthony Gill on him for the last quarter, just said, here, don't let him get 80. And he got 83. And as far as the Sam Amick article, if Kobe were still around and Bam checked himself out at 81, Kobe would have smacked the shit out of him for not going for it. Of all the people on this planet, you say, "Oh, I didn't want to keep grinding for it. I don't want to keep going for buckets because I wanted to honor someone." He would have hit the shit out of you. Are you kidding me? If there's anybody on the planet who would want his record to be broken because a guy is, cooking, like, Kobe would respect it. He would not respect checking out to not break his record. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, if there's ever a way to honor Kobe's legacy, it is go beat the fucking record. Don't pussy out, right? Like, don't wimp out at, breaking a guy's record. So I think that argument's also a little like, and like you said,
go ahead.
If you have a chance to go for it. If this was Jaylen Brown and he had 70 in the third quarter, every Celtics fan on the planet would be like, please God, do anything you can.
Yeah. Why would you not? Like, I don't like, this will never happen again. He will never have the opportunity to, like, he probably won't ever score 60 points again. What was Bam's career high before yesterday? I'm going to pull it up.
It's like, I don't think he had 50 before.
His career high before scoring 83 was 41.
He had his career high at halftime.
Correct. So at that point, like, everyone's like thinking it. It's like when like a pitcher has like a perfect game going, you're not supposed to say anything. I was like, well, like, what if he passes Kobe today? And then, like, I've been encouraged by the behavior of those online to reconsider my like worst fan base power rankings. The Kobe people might be worse than the LeBron people. I mean, Sam Amick wrote a whole article being like, I can't believe he would pass Kobe. Like, this is stupid. Because Kobe's not around anymore, you can't pass him? Like, it's disrespectful to pass him? I don't think so. This is an excerpt. In a bizarre and completely avoidable plot twist, the Heat decided to leave Adebayo in the game with 1:35 left, presumably so that he could pass Kobe Bryant's 81-point mark from 20 years ago and secure the second highest scoring performance in NBA history. Never mind that the Heat were up by 27 points at the time, or that all signs had pointed to the Heat pulling him with 81 points as a classy tribute to the late, great Lakers star. So what were the signs that pointed to it? Was it just that you assumed that he wouldn't want to pass Kobe and he did not uphold that expectation? Is that what it is?
People during the game, like the announcers were like, Bam's going to exit here. Like, apparently
they were assuming it.
Yeah.
Everybody was just like, oh man, he's not going to overtake Kobe. And then he did it. And they were like, oh, how could you ever do this? This is despicable. You could never.
So dumb.
Like, He earned the right. He got within striking distance of 81 points. I think if you get there, you can do whatever you want.
Yeah, do whatever you want.
I don't care that he took 43 free throws or whatever he took. It doesn't bother me. He was already on pace to do something unbelievable. As Jack said, career high at halftime. At that point, go for it.
Mhm.
There's no reason not
Go for
to.
it.
What was the final score? And I need to just stop asking things and look them up as I'm thinking about them. I'm looking
It was
up the final
150
score.
to 129.
No, of the Kobe game.
122-104.
That wasn't a close game.
I'm going to see how many buckets Kobe scored up by 10 plus points, and we're going to see. Let me see this.
Like you're allowed to score points. Like if Kobe was scoring extra points when he was, scoring the second most in NBA history, that's what he should have did. Like you don't get that's a rare opportunity to just stat pad your points when you're trying to put together a big game or putting together a big game and you want to make it a historic game. If it's not hurting your team, I don't really like. Okay, if it was a down to the wire game against the Wizards and they were like, we want to get Bam 81 points or let him pass 81 points instead of winning the game, then you could be like, this was all stupid. But the game was won. They earned the right to do what
Kobe
they
took 7 free throws in the final 3 minutes.
How many Bam take? Probably a lot more.
A lot more, but still, like if we're talking about it, Kobe Bryant scored. The Lakers went up by 10 with 5 minutes left, or up by 12 with 5:30 left on the Kobe 3. From there, he scored another 3 with just under 5 minutes, another jumper on 4:30, another running jump shot up by 17, and then had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 free throws up by 14 points with 2 minutes left, 2:30. So are we just revisionist history here? Like, what are we doing? Like, how is that not similar to what Bam did? I know it's more egregious, but if you have a chance to put up 80 fucking points, you put up 80 fucking points, and that's how it goes.
You put up as many points as you possibly can.
Exactly.
If the game is decided.
That's it.
You will never get this opportunity again.
And you know what? The fact that happened in Kobe's game, and 20 years later, we're not fucking talking about it. No one's going to give a shit how Bam did it 20 years from now. No one's going to care. No one's going to remember. He got 83 points. That's all that's going to sit in the history books. Good for him. And you know what?
Crazy thing to write about.
They did it against the Wizards. The Raptors were 14-27. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck who he did it against. They were ass. The Raptors were ass. Good for Bam. Point blank period. He deserved it. Fuck it.
Yeah. Cool thing that happened. And you know me, Jack, I want to hate on everything. I don't care.
I thought you were going to come here and hate on it.
No, I don't get it. Like, you're really mad about if you want to be, how many points he had? What, 19 points in the fourth quarter?
Exactly 1/4.
Let's see.
What are you looking at? I have it up here.
Come from the free throw line?
He had 14 points for the free throw line.
Okay. So okay, yeah, I found it. I'm sorry. He had 21 points in the fourth quarter, rather. So to get to 82, they're also like triple teaming him. I'm
Kobe had 12 free throws in the fourth quarter,
which is fine. Like people just love to complain. And it is like I don't know. You can't do anything that may be disrespectful to Kobe. You just can't do it. Too many people worship him.
And you know what? I'm watching a couple of these fouls. The Wizards are just fucking bad at basketball, man. They're just fouling him. Like at the start of the quarter, they were just fouling him. They were just being idiots. Like they weren't trying to foul him. There was no intentional fouls. There was no like spam. He just drove to the rim and they couldn't guard him. And that was it. Like I don't know what you want from the guy. Like they couldn't fucking guard him. They weren't trying to foul him at the end of the game. They were trying to do anything but that. They just didn't want him to score. And they still fouled him. Like, come on, give me a break.
Yeah,
it is good for Bam. That's the end of that. Ratless,
cool game from Bam.
Cool thing. Ratless, go ahead.
Ratless is I have scheduled my first ever haircut because my mom was a hairdresser. She's had a couple different jobs, but she knows how to cut hair professionally. So I've always got my hair cut by my mom. And a friend of mine has a chair at a barbershop, and I'm just looking for something a little different. Not completely different. I'm going to look the same. You'll recognize me. But I am so nervous. I'm so nervous. At noon tomorrow, I'm getting my hair cut. I'm terrified to go to the barbershop. For no other reason than I just don't know about it. I sent him what I want. He's ready. He's prepared. But I'm nervous. I'm also my hair is so long right now that if you go back and watch all the pods, I'm in a hat every day because I just don't feel like doing my hair. And it's just a mess all the time. I'm at the point where I actually would be maybe I'll just get rid of all of it. If this does not go well, I may just shave it.
Where are you going for the haircut?
Proc is going to cut my hair.
Proc is going to cut your hair?
Yes.
Wow.
He's been at it for a little while now. He's got a chair. He's done plenty of cuts. I'm not the first one.
Is he at his barber shop, or is he?
So a friend of ours, or that we play basketball with, has a barber shop, and Proc has a chair in there that he's working on.
Okay.
I'm nervous.
Okay. I see. Well, at least it's somebody who knows what your hair looks like. He knows what he's working for, right? Usually you go in there, you say, and you have to give all these things oh, can I get a 2 on the sides? And you trim it down an inch on the top. And this is kind of what I'm going for. And then they just have to work off that. So you end up with a different haircut every time. But he knows what you're looking for. So that's a good thing. But
in the pregame show tomorrow is going to be cinema, from the guest to my review of the chicken to my haircut. If I get a hat on tomorrow, it's not good.
Not good. I need to get a haircut too at some point soon. My hair is getting way too long, but I don't want to get it fucked up. I don't know if I have any rat lists really. I think I don't know. I don't really have much. My sleep schedule, I guess. I'm staying up late, but that's just my own doing because I'm making videos. I'm on Twitter. I just see a bunch of people getting mad at Tyler Ford. I don't really know. I don't have much to complain about. I'm sorry.
Rat list is I had it. I lost it. I completely forgot it. I have more than just the hair.
Oh, I have something. I played pickup threes the other day. It was me, Danny, my other friend Mike, who I lived with last year, Danny's work friend Q, and then Noah and her roommate Kelly, and we played threes. And have you played with Danny ever?
No. Don't tell me. I bet he plays like a football player.
No. I love Danny. Danny's not great at basketball. However, when the game is on the line, that motherfucker turns into Steph Curry. It is the most.
You have said this before.
Annoying, piss me off bullshit ever. We played for 2 hours until Noah and Kelly showed up so we could play threes. We were playing twos. That man made 2 shots the whole time. I'm talking layups. I'm talking threes. I'm talking anything. He made 2 shots. He missed the rim on a layup at one point. It was I can't express. As soon as we play threes, everything is going in. All of it. We played 3 games of threes. He hit the game winner every single game. All 3. 3, 3, 3. It is the most unfathomable bullshit I can possibly imagine. It was ridiculous. It pisses me off whenever it happens, and it happens every time. Oh my God. It's so fucking annoying.
I've got a reputation as a game winner hitting dude at my pickup runs. They will fly. I just think it's because I'm just so over it at that point. I want to get off the court that I'm just going to fire up the first look I get. And I'm cautious with my shots. I'm selective, but if I get the shot I want, I'm going to take it and make it. And so I just remember some of these kids I play with. They're like, man, I'm so sick of this every fucking time and so on. But it's a little different for me because I'm a decent player. I'm not Danny. I'm not playing once in a blue moon and then turning into the guy when it's time. 2 hours of twos is crazy. You just played 2v2 for 2 hours?
We were just playing, man.
I don't have
We only had 4, so we are just like, fuck it, let's just play.
Rat List is
games.
The fake spring we're having. So it's 58 degrees right now in Providence, as I says Jack. Probably gonna go for a run after this. It's been fantastic all week, and I'm hearing that there's supposed to be a chance of snow tomorrow. I was out for a walk in shorts yesterday throughout the city, which, by the way, this is when you hit like the real spring, it's like playoff time, the best time ever. I think I do it every year. Go outside, go for a walk, put on a podcast, get yourself ready for the basketball games that night. Like listen to a basketball pod, just looking around, enjoying being outside. It is euphoria. It is what you wake up every day hoping that you get to experience in your day. That's what it is. And it was fantastic to experience it yesterday. I'm sad that I'm going to have to miss it for a little while. The forecast over the next week is unfriendly.
It's bad. Yeah. It was nice. I mean, like I said,
it'll be when we have to walk to the garden.
Yeah.
It'll be cold as shit.
I mean, like I said, 2 days ago, I played basketball 17, and then yesterday I just walked to Michaela's work and saw her for a sec. Like I live in South Boston. It was like a 50-minute walk. I just walked into the middle of Boston because I could. I was like, free will. It's nice out. Let's just go. Go walk. It's great. And now I'm gonna not be able to do it for a week or 2, which sucks.
Let's do it today.
I could do it today. Even today's not as good. It's 20 degrees colder than yesterday.
Is it? It was
It's
like
50.
70 yesterday.
It's 50 here.
It's 50 there.
We live in different places, brother. It's 50.
I always figure it's not that different.
It's 50 degrees here.
Sorry, you put a sweatshirt on.
Feels like
some
47.
sweatpants. Yeah. Anything under 50, I'm wearing gloves, so I can't really be like, that's not bad.
Not as good. Not as good. Not as good. Yeah.
And then
what are you gonna do?
Rat List is so Kaylin showed me this yesterday. We both had gone for a walk separately. She went to go do something, and I went for a walk in between when she was gone.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, there's this guy in Providence that just posts Instagram videos, and he's like, "Hey, I just left like a wad of cash here." And
Boston has it too.
yeah, the one from yesterday was like, I could have went there. I was not that far from it.
It's happened to me before.
I didn't even know it existed. And I was like,
Yeah.
do you have notifications on for this? And she's like, no. And I was like, why do you not have notifications on for this? You should be the first person to know every time you can go and grab money for free.
Yeah. I have notifications on, but I just never see it in time. Like I'm just never not on my. I haven't been on my phone at the right time most of the time. But yeah, man, it's tough. The Boston one might have gotten taken down. I don't see it anymore.
Oh no!
I think it's gone.
Why are they taking it down?
I
Are
don't know.
people like hurting each other over the money? Maybe.
Probably. I mean,
I actually be so terrified to pick up the money. Like it'd be like when you would play like football as a kid and it was kill the carrier. Like they're just trying to tackle you because you have the ball.
yeah, it's gone. I don't see it anymore. There was one that was in the park, like across from my street, but yeah, I don't see it anymore. What did you say?
Lord, carry him now, Dwight Howard.
Yeah. Anyways, all right. That's all I got. Anything else?
That's it.
Okay. Well, in that case, appreciate y'all for tuning in. Leave a like, subscribe. I'll let Sam take it out.
Thank you very much for listening and watching. Make sure you leave a like, comment, subscribe. We're here every single day with new stuff. Full pods drop Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday. Game recaps are up the morning after each game, and other videos are here in between to keep you up to date with all things Celtics. You can find the two of us streaming pregame live a half hour before each tip-off tonight. As you're hearing this, 9 p.m., 9:30 tip-off in OKC. So come hang out on the stream. It's been a lot of fun this year. Nick NBA has joined the crew, and we're bringing in special guests as much as we can. We do have one tonight. Be on the lookout on Twitter for that. I will not say now just because I don't want Jack to find out beforehand, because it's more fun when you just join and you don't know. But yeah, subscribe. We're on Spotify and Apple too. All pods and recaps are there. If you just want the audio stuff, follow us, leave a 5-star review. We'd appreciate that very, very much. You can email us, hbtcpod@gmail.com. Read them every single time we do the show. Thank you guys today, Paolo and PL for sending them in. hbtcpod@gmail.com. Our socials are at How About Them C's for Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Facebook's name of the pod. All streams are there. They're on YouTube. They're on Twitter. Jack's Twitter is Jack's Mon NBA. Mine's at Sam LaFrance NBA. That's it for us.
Check.